So you own an Exmark 30-inch walk behind. Today we're going to go over the ins and outs, the how to maintain, how to get the most out of this machine. It's a beast. It's awesome. The stripes are just sexy, right? That wide stripe. There's a lot of advantages to the 30, but there's some challenges it can face if you don't know how and what to maintain on it. So Exmark makes this with a Kohler powered engine as well as a Kawasaki powered engine. The maintenance on both are going to kind of align. So we're going to go over the basics today, and you can pretty much flip them between engines. So here we go. Let's talk about the engine first. We've got an air filter, we've got an oil filter, we've got oil changes, we've got spark plugs. That's what we need to keep an eye on. That's what we need to pay attention to. So let's start with an air filter. This lid right here twists, pulls off, and I've got the air filter in hand. What do I need to look at on this air filter? How often should I look at it? Well, in the summer, this thing's going to get dirty, right? I'm kicking up dust and dirt like crazy, and this 180cc engine is sucking all that air in, and it's going to get dirty. So blow it off, tap it off, pull this foam off. Do I see good light through it? I'd recommend personally checking this once a week in a commercial application. In a homeowner application, you're probably talking once every month or 2 months, depending on the hours that you're putting on it. So fairly cheap, really important. Keep an eye on your air filter. Maintenance of that is really critical. Oil, I've got to keep up on my oil changes. This machine does have an oil filter which extends the oil change time intervals, so I don't need to do it quite as often. Personally, I've found if you're getting up to 75 hours, that oil should probably be changed. You get over 75, it starts looking pretty nasty, pretty hairy. So let's plan on changing the oil every 75 hours with this machine. But I should check the oil a little more often. And on a Kawasaki engine, what I do is I loosen the dipstick, I pull the dipstick out, wipe it off, set it in, pull it out, and check it. I don't screw it in to check it, okay? On the Kohler engine, on the other hand, I screw it all the way in to check it. So domestic engines, I screw the dipstick in. Foreign engines, I only set it in. Just a quick tip, okay? You do have a fuel filter on the side right here. I'd recommend doing that annually. Just good common thing to do. All right, so we got the engine covered. You know we're running good fuel. We're running the Cowie 1030 or a Kohler oil in it. It is important to use an engine brand, a small engine brand of oil. I know oil's oil in a way, but your car runs much cooler than this air-cooled engine, usually about half the heat. So a traditional automotive oil is not really made to withstand the heat temperatures that we get out of an air-cooled engine. So look to run a small engine brand oil. We love this Kawasaki 1030. It's a semi-synthetic. It's great stuff. Okay, oil, air filter, spark plug, fuel filter. Let's get up to something that gets missed that's kind of important. As you use this machine, the cables are going to stretch right here, as well as the belts are going to stretch. And if you don't catch this or adjust this in time, you're going to end up with a cable or a belt stretching. You'll end up burning a belt because it's slipping. So to start, let's talk about the blade belt. How do I know my blade belt is due for adjustment? When I push this lever right here, this lockout, and pull back on the blade engagement bar, bail, if the blades don't kick on quickly, if it's more of a slow ramp up, hey, things are slipping, right? And that's when it's not under load. What about when I get under load? They're really slipping. So I need to look at adjusting that belt. So let's shut it off. Let's disconnect the spark plug. Okay, we don't need some accidental fire on that. We're going to turn this a half or a quarter turn, and this a quarter turn, and this front cover is going to come off. Okay? And now we're going to get down inside here. And we're going to need, I believe it's a 1/2 inch. And we're probably going to open up our book. You got this book with it. Oh wait, maintenance. Here's the maintenance schedule. What should happen at what hours? And you're going to find that it says every 250 hours I'm checking my blades for adjustment. But I have a brand new machine or a brand new belt that it's going to stretch quicker. So once I've hit my initial adjustment, I'm probably good for a lot longer. Open up a little bit further, it tells me how to adjust not only the drive cable, but as well as the blade cable. And so that's right up in here, and it's not a 1/2 inch or a 9/16, it's a 3/8. There's a little bolt right here that's holding a cable down. There's a clamp holding a cable down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen that bolt a couple turns so the cable is loose, and I'm going to slide that cable that way, which actually puts more tension on the cable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the slack out of that cable when it is disengaged. I don't want to put pressure on that cable when it's disengaged because that's too tight. I want to just take the slack out. So I'm going to loosen that. It's a 3/8 wrench. Slide it over, tighten that bolt back up. I'm probably going to leave this off. I'm going to go back, I'm going to hook up the spark plug boot again. I'm going to fire it up, and I'm going to see how that engagement is. Is it quick? Is it crisp? Is it clean? Does it take those blades off, like they should? If it does, perfect. If it doesn't, then we need to go back and look at the adjustments. It does cover in the book how to adjust it properly, but that is something that causes a lot of frustration to people. They'll burn a belt up, and all of a sudden they're just, this thing sucks. It doesn't bag the grass or whatever. So keep an eye on that adjustment. Then the other one is the drive. Generally, I've found in the first 10 or 15 hours, this drive cable is going to need adjusted. Let's pop that in right there. Tight. Here's my drive lever right here, the bottom lever. When I pull on this lever, it tightens the belt, it takes off the drive. Well, over time, again, that cable and that belt are going to stretch. So how to adjust that? So I grab my wrench, and that's a 7/16 wrench. And once that's loosened, I'm going to pull down on the cable, again, looking to get rid of any slack in this. Once it's adjusted properly, it should be a little bit of pull up and it starts to accelerate, and the further I pull, the faster this machine goes. Okay, so drive cable adjustment as well as blade belt adjustment. Those are critical things that if you don't do will hinder your performance, hinder the life of the tool. Another thing I see happen to these, they don't get tied in the trailer. I get it, you're in a hurry, throwing it in the trailer, and you take off and this sucker, bang, rolls back and hits the trailer gate. What happens is it ends up hitting here. I don't know how, but it hits here and it bends this lower bar down. So then because that bar is bent low, it is so hard to pull up on this drive lever, and it stresses your cable and you'll end up breaking the cable. So not only safety, you're on the road, tie this thing down, but also your comfort, your performance, your life, tie it down, because this lever getting bent down causes all sorts of issues. All right, let's pop this over on its side. If I'm going to tip it on its side, so remember, we always want the air filter to be up. If I were to tip it the other way, I'm going to fill this air intake with oil, which is going to a plugged air filter with oil, cause all kinds of problems. So we're going to tip it this way. The air filter is up. Okay. Again, remember the spark plug is disconnected, so we don't have to worry about doing something crazy. The Exmark 30 runs a timed blade setup. So you see how this blade is horizontal and this blade is vertical? That's really important. There are keys in it to keep it that way. So this little spacer right here is sitting above the blade, and there's some notches on it that align with the spindle shaft to keep it in this timed configuration. If you ever go to put a blade on and they're not perpendicular to one another, if they're close, if they're turned at all, if this were, say, at this angle, you got a problem. You want to look at this thing right here. These little tabs are probably partly sheared off or all the way sheared off. That happened from impacting something. You hit a root, you hit a rock, you hit a whatever. You had a hard impact and you stripped that. Now, why do I need to fix that? Because these blades actually overlap in the middle of the deck. And if these blades come in contact with one another, it'll cause catastrophic problems. You will not only damage the blades, you'll also damage the other spacer that's probably not broken, as well as these spindles. And very quickly, this can become a several $100 repair because you missed this. So best thing is don't hit stuff, right? But we're human. Somebody threw a rock in the lawn and we didn't see it, or a dog left a bone in the lawn, whatever. There's things that happen. We hit stuff. always keep an eye on these spacers. Take a look at them. So whenever I pull the blades off to sharpen them, to maintain them, I'm going to check those out, and I'd recommend you do the same thing. You know how to adjust the height on the front. You've got these quick little pull tabs here. You know how, not pull tabs like gambling, pull tabs like changing the height. Flip it out, back like this, lift up, slides out. You know, a little bit crazy, why is it not a normal adjuster? Most of us commercial guys, we don't change the height that often, but it's rugged and it's dependable. There's not a lot to fail on, okay? So that, and then on the back, it's a single point. I just grab this bar right here, lift up, and up and down to my height. All right, the Exmark 30. How I care for it, how I show it love, how I get the most out of it. For more tips, for more tricks, stop by Carl's Mower and Saw, where we can hook you up with the right machine for your job. Hey, this is Josh from Carl's Mower and Saw. Thanks for watching our videos. We're proud of the fact that we've been serving you with the best in outdoor power equipment since 1990. We're glad that you had an opportunity to sit down, watch our videos, learn something about an exciting new product that we have, something that interests you for your property, or really how to use your equipment to the best of its ability. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube. We're excited to share more information with you. See you soon.